In this video, we are going to create an Android application that puts some information into an online MySQL database. In the previous video, we already set up the server and we already add the needed PHP script into the server. So now we are going to create an Android application that communicate with the online MySQL database and put some information into the database. So open Android Studio and start a new Android Studio project. And I name it as online MySQL DB. Click next. Now here is the minimum SDK 3.0. Click next and select the empty activity. Click next. Here is the activity name and layout file, and finally click finish. Okay, now we have the project available in Android Studio. First we have to make some GUI for the application. So now here I am going to add some GUI into the activity main.xml file. Okay, now I put some GUI component into activity main.xml file. I add two buttons. First one is add a contact and view contact, and also add a text view. Here is the XML file. This is the first button and ID is B1, and with an on-click method add contact. Here is the second button. On-click method is view contacts, and here is the text view. The purpose of the text view is to display the current network status. So now I need to change the theme of this application. Go to the values folder, open up the styles.xml file. Here is the theme of the application. I need a dark theme with no action bar. Now go to the activity main.xml file. Now we get a dark theme for the layout and there is no action bar. Now we have to create another activity to add informations into the online database. So create a new activity, right click the application and create a new activity. Select the empty activity. Specify the activity name as add info and specify the layout as add info layout and click finish. Now we have another activity is available here called add info. Now we have to add some GUI components into the newly created layout. Okay, here I add three edit text and a button. First one is sender name, email and mobile. Go to the XML file. Here is the first edit text. ID is ET name, and here is the second one with ID ET email, and third one is ET mobile, and here is the button. The on-click method is save info. Now go to the activity main.xml file. So first we have to add information into the online MySQL database. So whenever user click the add contact button, we have to display the newly created activity. So go to the XML file. Here is the on-click method for this button is view contacts. Sorry, add contact. So open up the main activity.java file. Here it is app compact activity. Change that one into simply activity. Now define that method. The method name is add contact. Copy this method. Public void add contact. Specify the view argument. Okay, and here create some button object. Name it as B1 and B2. Now create a text view object, text view variable. Name it as text view. Now initialize these variables. First one is B1. Find the view by ID r.id.b1. Typecast this one into button. Now initialize the second button, B2, ID is B2, and initialize the text view. Find the view by ID r.id dot text view, and typecast this one into text view. Okay, so first we have to check whether there is an internet connection is available, there is a network is available or not. For that we have to create an object of connectivity manager equal to get system service context dot connectivity service. Now typecast this one into connectivity manager. Now we need an object of network info equal to connectivity manager dot get active network info. Now check whether there is a network is available or not. So if network info not equal to null and network info dot is connected, in that case there is a network is available, so we have to hide that text view. That text view is actually displayed there is no network found, so we have to hide that text view. So text view dot set visibility into invisible. Otherwise, that means if there is no network is available, we have to disable the buttons. Otherwise, b1 dot set enabled into false. Also hide the second button, b2 dot set enabled into false. So whenever user click the first button, we have to start the second activity, that means add info activity. So start that activity, start activity, new indent, context, and the class name is add info dot class. This will start the second activity. Now go to the second activity, add info dot java. We have to define some edit text variable, edit text, name, email, mobile. We need some string values, name, email, and mobile. So there is a button available on that layout. Go to that layout. There is a button is available with on-click method save info. So we have to define that method. First change this one into activity. We have to define this method save info. Copy this method name and define that method. Public void method name is save info. Don't forget to add the view argument. Now get the information from the edit text. First we have to initialize the edit text variables. First one is name equal to find view by id r.id dot et name. Typecast this one into edit text. Copy this statement. Now initialize the second variable, that is mobile, email, and here the identifier is et email, and the last one represent the mobile number, mobile, and the identifier is et mobile. Okay, Now we have to get the information from the user. So we have to initialize the string values. Name equal to name dot get text dot to string. Second one is email dot get text dot to string, and the last one is mobile dot get to text dot to string. Now we have to do the database operations. So the database operations sometimes take long time. So we have to put a separate thread for perform the database operation. So we have to create an async task to perform the database operations. So here I am going to create an async task. So create an inner class, name it as background task, and extends async task. We have to specify the generic types. First here I just pass void for the generic. We will change it later. Here we need to add some method, implement some method. The method name is do in background. Click OK. We need some other methods also. First one is on pre-execute, on post-execute, on progress update, and the last one is on pre-execute. Okay, this is not the first method, cut that one. This is the last method, put it here. This is the last method. The first method is on pre-execute. There is no need of to specify this order, but for easiness it is better. First one is on pre-execute, do in background. If there is any update operation, it is available on progress update, and finally the result will get in on post execute. The order is not a matter, but for convenience I just arrange the method in order. Okay, so now we have to start the background task. Here we have all this information from user. Now we have to add this information into the online database. So we have to start the background task. So create an object of background task, name it as background task equal to new background task, and execute the task, call the execute method, and pass the data. First one is name, email, and the last one is mobile. After add information into the database, we have to close this activity, so called the finish method. So here we have to change the first generic type. There is some parameters that is of string type, so change the first generic into string, and here instead of void we have to specify that one into string, and for convenience change this variable into args arguments. Now we have to get the information. So first one is define the variables name, email, and mobile. Get the informations. Name equal to args of 0th index, email equal to args of first index, mobile equal to args of second index. So we get all these informations. So now we have to get a URL to add information into the database. So here declare some variables, string add info URL, okay, we have to initialize that variable on the on pre-execute method. So add info URL equal to Now we need to specify the domain name, and we have to specify the PHP script. Or PHP script is addinfo.php. So here is the domain name. Here is the domain name. I copy the domain name and put it here, and the PHP file name is addinfo.php. This is the URL. Now we have to start the background operation. We have to start the network operations. First one is create an object of URL equal to new URL, and pass the URL. It is available on this variable called addinfo.url. Here we have to put some try catch block, surround with the try catch. Now create an object of HTTP URL connection equal to url.open connection. Here we have to add some catch clause. It is an IO exception, and we have to typecast this one into HTTP URL connection. Now set some parameter for the HTTP URL connection. HTTP URL connection dot set request method into post. Now specify HTTP URL connection dot set do output into true. Okay. Now we need some object of output stream. Name it as output stream equal to HTTP URL connection dot get output stream. Now we need some object of buffered writer equal to new buffered writer, new output stream writer. Specify the output stream, and finally specify an encoding format. I specify the encoding format as UTF-8. Okay. Now we have to encode some data. We have to encode the data. So data string equal to URL encoder dot encode. First specify the identifier. Now specify the encoding format. It is UTF-8. Now put an equal symbol, equal operator. Now specify the value URL encoder dot encode. Here the name is available on this variable called the name, and specify the encoding format UTF-8. Now put some AND operator. Okay, this is the first data. Now copy this statement, put it here. Second one is email, and the data is available on this variable called email. And the last one is mobile. Identifier is mobile, and the variable name is mobile. Put the semicolon here. This is the encoded data. The encoded data is available on this variable called the data string. Now write this data before the writer dot write data string. Okay. Now flush the buffer writer. Flush it. Now close the buffer writer. Buffer writer dot close. Also close the output stream. Close. Now for get the response from the server, create an object of input stream equal to HTTP URL connection dot get input stream. Okay, no need of input stream now, just close it. Input stream dot close. Now disconnect the HTTP URL connection. HTTP URL connection dot disconnect. And finally return some string from here. Return one row of data inserted. So there is some return type is available, there is some result is available, and the data type is string. So change the return type into string. So we have to modify the generic type. The result is string, and we got the result on this method on post execute. For convenience, change the variable into result and change the data type into string. Here simply display a message using a toast. Get application context and display the result. Now finally make the length of the toast, and finally make the toast visible using show method. Okay, and one more thing, here we use the internet, so we have to add the needed permissions in the Android manifest.xml file. So open up the manifest.xml file and add the needed permissions. Users permission, Android name, first one is internet, add another permission, users permission, Android name, network state, and close the permission. Okay, now we can test the application. Okay, now we can run the application. You can run this application on a virtual device or a real Android device. So before going to run this application, here is our online database. This is the PHP myadmin of the online database. Here is the table name, product info, and here there is already some informations are available on this table. So now here I am going to delete all these informations. One more row is there. Delete all these informations. Okay, now there is no informations are available in this table. Now we are going to add some information through the Android application. So we can run this application. So run the application. Use this same device. Okay, now click the add contact button. Add some information. Put some name, put some email address. Let me at abc.com. Specify some mobile number and click the save data button. It will show one row of data is inserted. Now we can test the database. Open browser and browse for data. Now here is the inserted data: name, email, and mobile number. This is how we insert information into an online MySQL database through an Android application. I hope you understand the concepts. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.